Hello and good morning. Welcome back. Corsair DreamLeague Season 9, otherwise known as the Preshow, right here in Stockholm in the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios. It's already day 3. We're halfway through. We've already said goodbye to 2 teams, by the way, Thomas. Moment of silence for our fallen comrades. Immortals and Pain Gaming, we saw them go home yesterday. It was a rough day, you know. It was a painful day. It was a long day, exciting day as well, because obviously there's also some teams that did make it through. Today we are going to say goodbye to 2 more teams, 2 more lower bracket best of 3s to go through, and then also winners bracket finals. Exciting times to come. 3 series of Dota 2. So hope you have yourself a comfortable seating position and some beverages, some food. You're gonna need it. It's gonna be a long one. And to help us through the long one, we have some good news. Ted is alive and well, and he is back. Period. Hello, sir.
Take it easy, Sheeps, okay? I'm still a little delicate. That's a big step forward. Okay.
Woo.
Woo.
That was the effort right there, huh?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm much better.
Refreshed?
Well, yeah, sure. Pretty refreshed. if being sick all night is refreshing, then I'm refreshed.
But last night you were
Last night I was fine, yeah. It was a terrible,
recovered.
terrible meal I shared with a certain someone who may be one of our guests if they stop by the neighborhood. I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll have to find out and see. So no clam chowder?
Don't eat the clam chowder. I'm not going to mention the name of the restaurant, but it's quite close to the hotel, and it was a disaster.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I missed you yesterday. I think the viewers at home missed you as well. I think the audience, the live audience that we have, missed you as well. We couldn't get a cheer from the audience for Ted being back. Thank you.
That was very subtle.
It was very subtle. They're very excited, though.
I doubt it, Sheeps, but I appreciate the sentiment anyway.
It wouldn't be the same without some guests, though, with some extra guests.
Yeah, you're right. Now that we've welcomed me back, let's get some more people on, for goodness sake.
Yes.
Who have we got today?
Let's find out who we have today.
Let's see if we can hear a knock at the door. Oh, do come in.
Definitely heard a knock on the door there. Come in, it's open. Don't break the door.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
Yay from us.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. How is the old health? I feel like I have to ask because you guys have been sick since you got here, sort of.
I'm slowly dying on the inside.
This is the sickly.
Surely you're getting better.
No.
No.
I think
This will be my last tournament.
For these guys to get better, they need rest, and they've been working very hard, as you know, most of you guys have.
Yeah, no thanks to Ted.
I'm so happy you guys are more than an arm's length from
I had the same thing you did, and I still soldiered on.
You subtly did not. Okay, let's point this out. We were looking for somewhere to eat.
Yeah.
And Will says,
"Where did you go? Whoa, where did you go?"
I'm not going to say, just in case. So
Shout out to the grill.
He says, "Wow, look at this amazing place. Aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky to be with me, Prue? We went and found this amazing restaurant. If you hadn't been adventurous like me," this is his word, "we would never have found this place. We would have just eaten in the hotel restaurant, which is perfectly safe, by the way."
Yep.
So we go find this place. We sit down. The service is terrible. The food's overpriced. It makes you vomit. But crucially, he didn't eat the seafood in the seafood chowder because he's a weird guy. So he just ate around it. I should have eaten around it.
See, I see you getting all worked up again.
Yeah, just ate the bacon bits.
Don't get worked up, because we're actually going to talk about some things that I think you'll find very fun.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
You specifically, because our first topic of the day is ESL Birmingham.
Birmingham.
UK major.
Yeah. This is
UK
big.
esports? Question mark.
No, don't you dare besmirch my people, okay? Now listen, I'll tell you this. We may not have any teams for Dota 2.
No teams.
We may not even have any pro players.
No pro players.
But get this for a statistic. Of all the nations that travel to Dota events, the UK is number 2. We send a lot of people abroad, not just because we have to.
It's because of your accent.
Fans. We are passionate fans, and we have money, and we like to travel. So.
And you have posh accents.
Well, not in Birmingham, they don't, but... In Birmingham, they talk like that. It's great to have a major. We can't wait. Get going. Let's get a Birmingham major on, boys. It's going to be hype.
I've heard, being in Germany, I remembered that a lot of Europeans do not like the British fans when they come to any sort of sporting events.
Do you know what
they compare them to like the rednecks of the US.
We drink all their whiskey and get to know their ladyfolk. It's how the football chants go.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't how it went at all. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with you guys getting totally blasted and then trying to fight everybody within arm's distance.
That's how we do. I mean, that's
bunch
us.
of hooligans.
Yeah, that's us on holiday. And the esports fans should be no different. And God bless them, they're flying the flag overseas. No, the esports fans aren't really like that. Come on, I don't want to paint this picture of Birmingham as a hellhole where people fight and drink. It's fine.
The tickets did sell out like real fast.
ESL's fastest selling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is.
Thirsty.
I mean, was that expected in the UK? The UK is not that big on esports. Not on Dota, anyway.
Well, I mean,
apart from the talent.
Here's the thing. It's a major in Europe, so it's always going to sell well. UK's first Dota major, so it's always going to do well.
Yeah.
And honestly, there are a lot of UK Dota fans. We're not good at the game, God bless us, but we love watching it. And apparently, I mean, if you look at the talent pool for Dota, it's like a lot of Brits.
True. So
there's clearly a lot of people involved in esports in the UK. And I think it's great that we've got a major, and I'm very, very excited.
You feel like it has an impact on the UK esports scene, Will?
I only know like 2 UK Dota players.
Rhyme and Bisa.
Yeah.
And Bisa is half UK, right? Or he has 2 passports or something like that.
I thought he was Danish or Dutch or something like that as well.
No, I think it's something in somewhere in like I know that he's participated.
Ours now.
Yeah, he was far away. I don't want to be wrong, so he was far away. But 2 UK players. Maybe we're going to see more. I know that there's a lot of press coming out to talk to, for example, you, Ted. You know, something big happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the UK. You know, a lot of us work on the scene, and it is sad to not see any UK players. It would be very exciting to see a UK team. I mean, obviously, what London Conspiracy were based in London. I'll take it. You know, I was like, these are my guys.
They have London in their name.
Yeah, but it happens. And then I think the team just broke apart, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's happened. But you know, let's say when a seed's been planted, you don't step on it. All right, you let it grow, and let's see what it grows into. Maybe it'll grow into a beautiful TI-winning UK team.
I hear you guys are very good with chants when it comes to any sporting events.
Chants?
Yes.
Do you mean like the game of chants, or do you mean like singing and
chanting?
Okay, chanting. Yes. Yeah.
Is that what I can expect?
Well, I mean, the chanting of football matches comes from history. You know what I mean? There's history to those clubs. So there might be some chants, but I don't think we're going to be able to come up with any on the fly.
Okay.
They're born on the terraces.
So you gotta prepare them. Yeah, I was gonna say this is the time.
We need some ultras. Get some really hardcore lads in there. We should get some hoolies in from like football teams. Get them to lead the chants.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that sounds like a recipe for success right there. All right, guys.
Firm going.
I think ESL Birmingham will be very exciting. Almost as exciting as our next topic of the day. Our next topic of the day is Fnatic, and Fnatic are in the lower bracket now in the tournament. They were in the upper bracket yesterday, though. They played against Team Liquid, and people were expecting them to do better than they did. And I want to talk about that because it felt like Liquid, the first game that they played against Fnatic, they were outclassed. It felt real Fnatic favored, and then all of a sudden Fnatic, I don't know, they kind of clashed with themselves or something. I see you kind of laughing there, Cap.
I was laughing at the spelling of Naya
Taya.
Andaka.
Is that right or wrong? What is it anyway?
I mean, it's just different than I would have spelled it.
It's the Shadow Shaman.
Do you think I have any idea how to actually spell that?
It was Googled, and this is what he actually says. Because it was Shadow Shaman that Fnatic picked in game number 2, which seemed a bit off, didn't really work out for them. But they something was wrong with that series, Will. Something, I don't know. What do you think is up with Fnatic at the moment?
They let Envy have total control of the draft. It's probably never a good idea. Someone's got to, step in and be like,
captain. He's the
no, Jackie, that's a bad idea. Shadow Shaman Core. I mean, whatever. It's like, I think Fnatic can be a great team. I think they're just inconsistent right now. They're still working things out. And they're not the only team that's trying to experiment. Like, we're not going to make these memes about Secret because they won.
Yeah, that's the point.
Don't worry. We'll get to Secret as well.
I think it's like Shadow Shaman Core, whatever. They tried something out. Didn't work. They're in lower bracket.
If it had worked, we'd be calling them geniuses, right? That's what
sure.
But yeah. But it didn't. And so now we have to look at them and say, sort it out.
A little underwhelming performance yesterday, Will, for Fnatic?
It was close. Like, I watched those games. It wasn't like it was a stomp. I felt like GH sometimes like outplayed them and kept Liquid on top in times when it looked a little shaky. And they baited them with the black hole thing and stuff like that. That was clever. But it didn't feel to me like they got rolled over. It just felt like, didn't you feel like it was close games when you were watching them?
Yeah, it was. And we talked to KP. He walked by, and I wanted to know what he thought, because it's always interesting to see what other pro players think about games. And that part's always cool, because they always have a different idea of what pretty much if you talk to one pro on one team, he'll have a different idea.
Of course.
What another pro had on another team. But he felt like they were going to win late game. Like that Fnatic had the late game with their lineup. So he was pretty surprised that they ended up losing that. And part of it just comes down to the fact that...
we're talking about game 3, right?
Yeah,
Not
game
the Shadow
3.
Shaman game.
The Shaman game is whatever. Honestly, I know he's going to get a lot of flack for that. But I think that's silly. Like, Dota is based on innovation and risk. Yeah, if you're just doing the same stuff, you're gonna get caught or figured out.
Exactly.
I think it's so boring. If anything, I encourage stuff like that. As a caster, I'll try never to flame that. Because if it doesn't work, that shit, it happens. But at the end of the day, you get cool stuff like TB support, mid Phoenix off of these ideas that these pros have. They're gonna play it in a pub. I heard Envy played it a bunch in a pub. It worked out. This time it didn't. Who knows? Maybe it's actually really good.
True. Innovation is one of the foundations of getting better in Dota 2. And people that need to innovate normally are the captains. And the captains do some drafting. And that leads us into the next topic, drafting. In specific, as portrayed there. Terrorblade support yesterday from Yapster on Team Secret. It worked out for them. Drafting in a whole, though, it's something mysterious to a lot of people because we can predict all we want, but we can't really crawl into the heads of the minds that draft. Well, we can a little bit by maybe trying to ask them a little bit about it. We have a video on it. Let's take a look.
Going into a draft, you always have some sort of mindset that you go in. Sometimes it is team dependent on who you're facing and what you think is good against them, what isn't.
A good example is sometimes you watch a game and sometimes the team can't do anything. Like the draft just ended the game before it even started. So in its core, Dota is a strategy game.
I feel like the draft right now definitely decides a big portion of the game. It always has. I would say that 55 to 60% right now is decided by draft, meaning that even if you outdraft an opponent, they can still win just by outplaying you. But if you're both playing at the same level and your draft is better, you're probably going to win.
No, I want to ban Weaver. I think they will. Actually, will they pick Weaver? I think they will.
It's not they all drafting really good, and it's about skill. But against bad teams, against lower teams, it's about draft. I guess like 90% about draft.
Sometimes there's a lot of things to look out for. For instance, let's say like we're talking about Liquid at TI. They had a lot of things to look out for. Like you need to look out for their Venomancer, you need to look out for their casual picks, Nature's Prophet and Like It.
There is no shortcut to become a better drafter. It's just a lot of hard work, and drafting is truly where experience plays a crucial role.
We have Corsair Warrior that can fucking demolish that guy top lane.
It's a mind game. The game is full of it. You are basically playing chess in a more cartoony way.
No shortcut to being a better drafter. I think that's the thing that I take away from that, because that was, I mean, that you can't practice drafting, guys. It's just, experience. You got to play all the games, go through all the scenarios. Can you practice drafting, Will?
There's like some stuff you can do. Like what Bulba does best probably on a team is he'll say, I'll mimic this team. And he'll tell his captain, like, you're our team, I'll mimic this team, and I'll try to figure out like what they commonly do, like figure stuff out. But the difficulty is that like even though you can do that, when the draft is done, you don't really know. You can argue about who's going to win, but for the most part, you have to play it out and see where exactly the strength and the weakness lies. And so that's where he means like you can't fake this experience. You've got to just do it over and over and over again.
Also, like, Kuro's played lots of different roles for lots of different teams. Like, he knows the game.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're, let's say you're a young player who's pretty much only ever played mid, your drafting experience is, what do I want to play mid and what do I not want to play against mid and what other heroes are going to worry me? But Kuro knows throughout the game, all stages, you know, he's played all these different roles. He knows how to build a draft, what's going to work early, what's going to work late. I mean, experience, if you look at the experience that a lot of these guys have, these coaches as well with all that experience, that has to play a big part in drafting.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of a mystery to me as well, because we can, you know, we predict drafts sometimes. It's like, oh, this would be a good pick here, and that's nice. But there's normally, you know, 6 other heroes that would be fitting as well, and you really have to know which way you're going with that. It's really, it is really a mind game in that case.
I thought what was interesting was the amount of the percentage that they put on the draft. Kind of means that when you've got like Seb and Heen stepping in, I guess it's not really changing the performance of the team as much in their minds as the draft does. And if your coach is helping you draft and playing in game anyway, well, the percentage shouldn't shift that much, I guess. And we've seen the results have not been that bad, even though 2 of these teams have stand-ins.
Especially since these teams will still like keep their own style that they've been practicing.
Right.
They're just like, you know, like when you're watching Liquid and Kuro is filling in as a core and you have Heen playing a support, like a lot of this team is still going to be functioning the same because, well, they have like 2 of the best players in their position, right? Mind Control and GH are like the absolute tip top of their core positions, and they're still going to be able to do everything that we've seen them do on previous rosters.
And Kuro knows how they play. He knows the team style and everything, so when he steps in, he can fulfill, if not Miracle's technical ability, although I think he's done very well, he at least knows what he should be doing. So it's not like getting some stand-in who's not played with you before, right? That makes a big difference.
It really does. And drafting will be a mystery to us for a long time coming. But that's the fun of it. You know, if it was predictable, it wouldn't be a great game. I am going to ask you two to leave because we are going to prepare for our first matchup. Speaking of drafts, it should be soon. I'll have Thomas play you out.
Oh, nice.
Thanks.
That's some hype music to be played out.
Music because you're leaving. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Cap,
it's time for us
okay.
to.
Cap's all right.
It's time for us to get someone else on the couch here. Someone that has some awesome playing music as well.
What? Who's this? He didn't even knock. He just comes in like Kramer.
The Kramer. I'll take that.
You got like all dressed up. I mean, we just kicked 2 people off the couch. That, you know, one's wearing.
This guy.
It feels very weird actually walking in with like a jacket in DreamLeague. I'll be completely honest with you.
I'm just on a bus somewhere. Yeah.
No, you look great, dude. How you feeling, Ted?
I feel like we both went for a job interview at the same place, and I sat down thinking, yeah, this will be okay. And you walk in, and I'm like, I'm not getting hired. I'm in big trouble.
You want to take my tie?
That
might be the saving grace.
I don't think you'll go with this.
No, I don't think so either. All right.
No, I'm doing good.
We have some Dota to be played today.
We do.
And yesterday we had to play Dota played as well. We could take a look at the brackets, see where that left us.
There were some good games yesterday.
They were.
I watched it in the hotel.
There were some surprising games as well. I was expecting the Newbie Secret series to be a lot closer than what it was.
Yeah, I was expecting Newbie Secret to be closer. I actually also expected the series before to be a bit closer. OG versus Pain. I thought that would be a bit closer in my opinion, but OG just played incredibly well, and Pain kind of fell short for me. I really didn't feel like the power that I've seen from Pain in the recent past that they've been playing, because they've been on the rise, and that was a pretty underwhelming performance.
It really was. We have 3 series today. We see 2 eliminations. We have the schedule for that as well. And we are going to start with the lower bracket matches. But the last series of the day, Liquid versus Secret, it's interesting to note that these 2 teams are already in the top 3. If Liquid ends 3rd and Secret ends up winning the whole thing, that means that Secret will overtake Liquid in DPC. So that is
neat.
Exciting.
Neat.
I mean, that's those majors, right? Like that's
Yeah, they add up. Everything starts to add up, and well, what I was hoping for is that we'd get to see Sungi play Secret's coach. For those who don't know, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
I
Even
thought
though Yapsor said it.
Do we trust Yapsor?
There's no way. Yapsor is he's. I love Yap, but
I saw your tweet. You said he's your favorite idiot.
He's my favorite idiot.
He's not an idiot. He's a genius.
Have you ever sat?
Yes,
I've had the
spent a lot of
opportunity to
time
sit
with
next to Yapsor so long, and the things that come out of
guy.
that guy's mouth sometimes you're
No,
just
I
like.
love Yapsor.
Is he a genius?
He is.
Or is he just
an idiot?
No, he's
that's
a secret
stupid?
genius.
That
You
it
can
makes
be
him a
have
genius.
both.
He's
You
a
can be a
secret
bit of
genius.
both.
Could be both.
You know,
A secret genius, is he? Literally.
secret genius.
I love him.
First
Hey.
matchup, Newbie versus OG.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about Newbie first, but before we actually talk about them, we had a chance to talk to KP before the series.
KP, I've got to ask you guys, yesterday it was a tough day. You guys played against Team Secret. They did something incredibly off the wall, incredibly crazy. Did you expect that? What were sort of your thoughts when you saw a draft with a Terrorblade and a Lifestealer at that 4th pick? Did you think it was going to be a Yaps or Terrorblade?
We actually guessed it was a off-lane Nyx, position 3 Nyx. So I guess, yeah, we didn't. But to be honest, I don't think it really did too much, except he just stood in the off lane and like soaked some hits for the off laner. I think that was like, yeah. The game was like rough, like regardless of like Yaps or TB, I think, yeah.
Today you are playing against OG, and of course OG, another team with a coach stand-in. We saw yesterday Mad have some pretty crazy games on his Razor and such. Will you be looking towards targeting Mad in the drafting phase potentially?
I don't know, we'll see. Personally, I'd be targeting Jerax, so yeah, he better watch out.
Well, we'll see. Jerax's certainly been on form this tournament. We'll see how the drafters go on.
Yeah, that should be making for an exciting matchup there. KP looks very confident, though, for versus OG. They are playing with their coach. Newbie, yesterday, they got a little bit overwhelmed by Team Secret, and I wonder how they will adjust today.
It didn't look like Newbie to me, to be honest. I felt like they had like this whole idea planned out for the games, and then Secret did what they did the other day too, and just completely just messed with people's game plans, and you were just like, wait, we can't do anything that we had the ideas for because of this. And yeah. So I do think we're going to see a different Newbie today.
They haven't been particularly on form lately, though, have they? Like Newbie, like they're in and out. Sometimes you look at them and you think, ah, yeah, they're doing what Newbie does. And other times, I kind of feel like if they don't get the heroes that they want, they kind of just go a little bit into their shell. You know, they don't play the way they often do.
Yeah.
I really like that early stuff. They're always together and stuff like that. But I think the fact that people know that they do that means that maybe teams can play around a little better. Who knows?
Yeah. I still was surprised, though, because they did have some staple heroes. They had Kaka playing the Sanking and stuff like that, and it's still like, they just couldn't even play it. They couldn't even play their game.
It was a rough one. Maybe today they have a better shot against OG, and we had a chance to talk to S4 before the match.
S4. You guys getting ready for today. Once again, we're going to see you playing with Mr. Coach Mad. What did you think of Mad's performance yesterday? He sort of went off on it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think for him, yesterday was really important for him to gain confidence. I think him coming from the coach position, he needed to grasp some kind of confidence, and that was yesterday, I think. So we're going to keep it up, and I think he's going to keep playing good.
Well, thank you very much, S4, and good luck with your series today. Back to you, Steve.
Yeah, he was definitely on form yesterday. He was the Razor that broke records. I think there was only one richer Razor in professional Dota 2 history.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I don't know if was it all pro Dota? Was it? I think it was like either since TI5 or all pro Dota. But yeah, that's still pretty damn.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that goes to show, just because he stepped out to the coach, it's not like he's forgotten how to play or anything.
No.
You know? So it's, you know, he's a very, very good player. So
he probably plays more pubs than a lot of players.
Yeah, honestly, he probably really does.
He really does.
These guys probably not get the chance that he does to play.
Yeah, he was really high on the leaderboards as well, right?
He broke 9K when it was like the MMR system like that. So yeah, he plays a lot of Dota. And even talking to him yesterday was really funny because he's like those type of games when you're just like the king of the game. He's like, I kind of felt like a kid when you get too many toys, you don't really know what to do with it because you're like, all right, I can go bottom and I can kill everybody and just be the master of this lane, or I can go mid and be the master and go top and be the man. He's like, it was kind of stressful. He's like, because I felt like I could go anywhere, I could do anything. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. It's kind of interesting also having a coach playing with you. Yesterday we spoke a little bit to GH, who obviously also has his coach playing with him, and he said that he's playing with them right now, and even though it's temporary. Yeah. It's good for them because now he knows how they communicate in the game when the coach is actually, there with them.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's given the coach a new insight.
A new insight, definitely.
Because weren't they saying that the coaches get kicked out? Obviously, they're not allowed to be in there. They can't communicate with them and stuff. I think that's interesting because there are some games. I think it's in CS:GO. The coach used to be able to stand with the player.
Well, you can have a timeout.
Yeah, that's right.
You can have the tactical timeout and then talk. But I think that this is the same story, right? Seb is all of a sudden there's a new insight. Sure, he was a professional player a while ago, but he's been a coach for like 2-3 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
Yeah, and like sure, you're like people might be like, oh yeah, but they get to sit in during their scrims and you get to hear their comment. But it's not the same when you're inside of a real match. So I do think it's actually pretty important to have both Heen and Mad get to feel the pressure inside of those games, how their team understands all that.
Yeah,
so it's really neat.
For this matchup, OG versus Newbie, I believe, Fog, you have chosen a specific matchup.
I did. I chose
Top right.
offlane.
Offline?
Yeah, I mean, S4 and KP for me are always just really fun players to watch, and they're usually pretty damn crucial for these teams.
This looks pretty S4 favorite, though. Yeah. These are the average stats, by the way, of their competitive
in this
matches.
season, right? Of the DreamLeague.
Yeah, this patch. This 707.
Really?
From 707 onwards.
From 707 onward, right?
That's like what is it? 3 months? 4 months?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised to see at least, especially the assists being higher, because KP. Okay, I understand like the GPM, XPM, and kills being higher for S4, but the assists, KP is usually a very, very sacrificial kind of guy. He plays a lot of those like big team fighters like the Tidehunters and whatnot. So I would imagine that his would have been higher, but that's a pretty interesting stat to see that it's all above.
Some of that can be down to which heroes you're playing as well. Like some heroes will just naturally give you more assists, but yeah, that is an interesting stat. But I mean, are we really questioning whether S4 is a really good player like someone?
No, but are we questioning if KP is a good player? He's a good player too. So.
Jeez, you don't get to the final of TI without being a great player. So.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was kind of torn because there's like a lot of those that I wanted to choose because I wanted to choose, of course, of the supports because that's always going to be great, like Kaka and Jarex. Everybody's probably like, oh, that's such a good one. But the offlane one for me, this one, I was just, I was pretty intrigued.
How much emphasis do you think those kind of supports like the fours and that get? Because they're not spending half the game farming, which is really boring to watch. So generally, they get to do all the cool stuff for like 30 minutes, and then the carry comes in and wins the game. I think the glory position is not the one, or maybe even the two.
It used to be the mid.
Yeah,
dude, the 4 position.
I think now it's the 4. If you want to show off, that's your 4.
I don't want to throw it like this far back, but since like TI3, when EGM showed that very, very greedy style of playing the 4, that's when I think everybody's just like, I want to play that.
Yeah.
Screw buying wards. You're a support, but not really.
Yeah, support.
You get to do stuff early on. You don't need a lot of money, and a lot of the sort of support heroes are kind of skill shot outplay heroes. I like that. Yeah.
Supports win the MVP very often.
Often.
If you guys want to vote for your Hacks MVP, then you can hashtag. And we changed something here because. If you want to vote for Mad, we realized yesterday it might have been a little bit too tricky to vote for him because there were a lot of letters. And, we all know Twitch chat. So we've reduced the amount of letters, and we still have the one number. So it's 7 Mad.
And for No Tail, is that a 0?
That is a 0.
N0 Tail.
That is a 0 because that is his tag. That is
it is a 0.
So
make
sure, make sure you put that 0 in the hashtag. Yeah.
So
they're all just gonna.
You can vote for that during the game. At the end of the game, we'll see what you guys said in terms of MVP. But before we can get an MVP, we need a game.
Of course.
We do.
Yes, and I believe we have a draft as well.
Sick.
So that is exciting. We can see what these two